Hello, hello, hello. How you doing, guys? And it's finally Friday and the last live of the week. We still have one more week to go, and we have a lot of good things. A lot of goodies coming next week. We're going to start with Christina Lennon on Tuesday. Christina Lennon is going to be talking about hypnosis and the myth of hypnosis. Do you know why witches have black cats? Because they're wearing black. I came back home after a week and my cats are giving me a lot of love. Wrong choice of clothing today. I'm wearing black. So I love this experiment. And I love my team for putting up with my craziness. Do you know that this experiment was replicated with monkeys, dogs, and I don't remember what other animal, but you can teach a monkey how to use money. And actually, when the economists were seeing the result of the behavior and economic and expanding of the monkeys compared with humans, the economists couldn't determine which one was from the monkeys and which one from the humans. So now the monkeys are more intelligent than we are, or we are as illogical as any other animal. Like I always says, I love animal behavior because we should learn more from animals. One of them is compassion, and they never kill for sport. They always kill or hunt for needs. So let's go to the presentation. This is nuts. So humans are monkeys with money. And yes, we are. Why we buy, why humans buy. It has nothing to do with the product, has nothing to do with the price, has to do with the emotions. So this is what happened. They grab a group of cappuccinos monkeys, and actually cappuccinos monkeys are not considering the most intelligent monkeys on the monkey zoo. So they give them tokens as a money. So when the cappuccinos were given these tokens, they found out that either I can eat them or I either can copulate with them. And the monkeys find out that neither of those things can be done. So after 6 months, they relate each token with giving food, from gratification to giving food. Initially, they were given pieces of jello, green jello, and they were every time that the experimenter come with the jello, the monkey need to give the token. Let me show you a video that how this work and how the monkeys were intelligent enough to know how to negotiate and know about sales. So if you need to go to a Black Friday sales, I would say bring one of these monkeys. They know what they're doing. So what you can see there here is they have these holes where they put the monkeys, and they have the monkeys in this cage, and they give them food through the holes. Now, they were giving them food, and one time they says, okay, they do understand that we give them food, or they're going to give us the tokens if we give them rocks. What happened here, you can see on the other image, and one of the time, one of the experimenters gave them a rock. The monkey didn't give the token. Now, what is amazing about this experiment is in one point, and I don't know why my screen doesn't get bigger. So in one of the points, the experimenter says, okay, negotiate. So they give 1 grape or 2 grapes. Guess what the monkey, the cappuccino monkey did? The cappuccino monkey gave the token to the experimenter who have 2 grapes. Crazy, no? Yeah, they understand the system of economy. My former financial advisor can learn one thing or two from these monkeys. I'm sure they way better than the disaster he did. They create a tiny economy with the cappuccino monkeys. They have a vendor, that is the experimenter. They have a price that for each token, it's 1 grape or 1 piece of jello. They have the choice. They can choose 1 grape, 2 grapes, a small piece of jello, or a big piece of jello. What happened is, in one point, they says, okay, let's talk about lose and gains. And what they did is they grab a little piece of jello and they give it to the monkey. And the monkey says, wait a minute, this is small. So when the next time they came, they have with 2 pieces of jello. So the monkey give 1 token and the experimenter give them 1 piece of jello. So the experimenter hold one of the jellos, look like, okay, if you want to have another one, you need to pay me more. Guess what? And my phone is, if I can find my phone, it's going to be great. It sounded great. I lost my phone. So when they give the monkey the second piece of jello, automatically the monkey give the token. They understand loss, sales, and negotiation. They can negotiate. They can talk? No, but they know how to negotiate. Monkey behavior like humans with money. They have irrational spending. When they bring more jello or more grapes, they keep giving tokens, even if they're not very hungry, if they don't need it. Loss aversion. They prefer to have all that food now, even though knowing that food is going to go bad, because they have the scarcity and the loss aversion that maybe that food is not going to be available tomorrow. React to discount. When they win offer more jello with less tokens, guess what? The monkeys negotiate. Got angry with unfair prices. It took 6 months, okay? 6 months to train these monkeys to understand how the financial situation is between token and food. Now, when they set the rules, when they set the protocol that how this work, and between the pieces of token and the amount of food they have, they start getting give them less food for the same price. Guess what? The monkeys got angry. Impulsive decision making, some even stolen tokens for other monkeys. They have 2 cages or 2 boxes, acrylic boxes. So they put monkeys with more coins in one of the cages and monkeys with less coins in another of the cages. Guess what? The monkeys were with cages with more tokens. When the other monkey didn't pay attention or the other monkey was asleep, one of the monkeys stole the tokens and ran to cash the token as soon as they can. So they understood they were stealing the tokens. They understood that it can be exchanged for money. And they understand that they did an impulsive decision making on the buy-in, even when they don't need it. Crazy, no? Now, you says, Susan, why are you talking about monkeys and we keep talking about animals? Because we can learn from them. When people come to Human Behavioral Lab, our research company, and we do a long interviews and many interviews to understand who is your ideal customer persona, ICP. We try to understand what is your niche. We create, okay, what is the age, what is the patterns of it, what they look online, how they buy, what time of the night, how impulsive, they're going through a divorce, they're going through a crisis. Actually, we can find how impulsive a person can be depending on the last number of the age. A person who is 28 is not going to be as impulsive as a person who is in the last 6 months of the 29 years old. And it happened with the 29, 39, 49, 59. I cannot give you the secret sauce because that is a study that we did. But that's how we are irrationals. That's what we do as humans. So you need to study. Every time that you want to launch a product on the market, it's not like, oh, I wake up, I'm going to make a class. No, you need to make a lot of studies. We have a lot of classes that we don't advertise. We do direct marketing. We target who is our audience online. We look who are the possible clients, who look for competitors, for our possible competitors, who's looking for the topic on the market, and we do direct sales. We don't advertise. We don't put a penny in advertisement. We're not going to see many videos of us talking about that. We do directly. Yeah, we do have classes in a school that you can take, you can enjoy, but we do direct advertisement. Why? Because we narrow every 10 people that we email, 8 buy classes, because we have the ICP extremely well narrow. How we do it? based on studies like this. If monkeys show our financial behavior, then our buying decisions are logical? No, they're not. Let me tell you, they're not. So, if you want to know more about your clients, you want to know more about your products, you want to know more about irrational humans and how everybody's irrational. I always say I have more than 850 pair of shoes. Don't get me started with handbags and clothing. And I have 6 cats. I'm the most irrational person on the world, and I'm fascinated how other humans are as irrational as I am. And by the way, everyone in the company is as irrational as I am. If it's not, they wouldn't be working on this nut house. So, believe it or not, humans make 35,000 decisions a day. 95% are irrational. And we have been talking a lot about this. Nobel Prize 2002, Nobel Prize 2018. We have two systems that we utilize to purchase and we utilize to make decisions. 95% is done by Homer Simpson. We need Homer Simpson. We need to determine when Homer come with us to make shopping or make decisions. And we have 5% that we use Albert Einstein. And I says always too, you don't need Albert Einstein to change a light bulb. So you need to be aware, what are you using when you're spending or you making decisions from who you're going to be dating, for where you're going to go on vacation, from who you're going to be working with or you hire as a company. This week we have been doing a lot of hire interviews for our team and for other companies. And when the agency who is helping us was on the interview, was like, who the heck are you? What are you doing these crazy questions? Because they have nothing to do. They give us a list of questions that we need to do and says, none of this work. Let me do the interviews. And we find out things about people in 15 minutes they never ever says in any other interview. And this agent was with these people that we're interviewing for many, many interviews. And they never says, neither confess, neither express things they express when we were interview them. What this means for humans? Buying is driven by emotions, fear of loss, reward equal dopamine, identity, and belonging. I'm going to tell you something. One of the oldest, biggest, more significant campaign done by a credit card was from 1968. 1968. We're talking about almost 60 years ago. American Express hired an agency, and I cannot remember the name of the agency, but it's a really Ogilvy. They hired Ogilvy in 1968 because they want to create a phrase or a tagline. At that point, they didn't call it tagline, something that is going to make them be different. And somebody on the agency come up with something so simple, is almost as stupid. But guess what? Not only has been the same tagline for almost 60 years, other companies are copying it. Guess what? Member sins. Why? The sense of belonging or identity. Oh, I have a black card. I have a VIP pass. It's not the pass. It's not the access you have. It's the sense of belonging. And there is another credit card that says what money can buy. Do we need credit cards? No. We need to spend more than we need or we have? No. But guess what? We do it because we don't count. And that's where gamification is used. That's the same reason that we have credit cards, the same reason in casinos you have chips, like tokens, like the monkeys, and the same reason that Starbucks have an app. If you pay attention, a Starbucks app never tell you how much you spent, how much money you have, and they're replenish with money automatically. You don't need to do it manually. They do it automatically. So you're not aware how much you're spending. Why? So you keep spending. And when it says reward dopamine, one of the things that Amazon have, and okay, I'm going to put another example. For example, you're going to kayak to buy a trip. First of all, when you get and click the options, Kayak start telling you, we're looking for the best Expedia or Kayak. Both of them are do the same. We're looking for the best option. We research all the websites. We narrow, especially for you. Yes, they do that for absolutely everyone. And at the end, when you're looking for the rooms or you're looking for any of the deal, says 10 people have this deal on the car. I think Etsy does the same. Is the reward dopamine? Oh my God. And actually, eBay is based on gamification and dopamine reward. Fear of loss, FOMO, fear of missing out. Oh, what do you think we have reviews in Amazon? What it says, well, 1,000 people find this product useful. 1,000 people can recommend. Recommended by dentists. That is fear of loss. I don't want to lose emotions. How many puppies, how many babies you see in commercials? Do we need them? No, but that generate emotions, and that's how we buy. Anger, fear, and the four emotions I would say that I will utilize if I need to make a campaign or I need to make a suggestion to a client is fear and arousal happen on the same part of the brain. And another one, it's anger and happiness. Anger and happiness. And you will say, well, how anger and happiness are the most shared emotions? Well, if something make me happy, I'm going to share it. Now, if make me happy that somebody save a kitty, somebody help someone else to donate, it make me happy that people is giving money to the homeless. It's not the homeless, it's the emotion that represent to you. That's how we used to win political campaigns, and that's how we still do and do advice for clients. Now, anger, it's not that an animal is abused. It's the anger that we feel when we see that animal being abused, and that's how we share it. So fear and arousal happen on the same part of the brain that is used all the time. And then that's the reason the horror movies, the kinkiness, and angry and happiness. The basic emotions that make us share things with other are those two. People don't buy products, people buy feelings. Why we buy? Why? Loss aversion, limited time, scarcity, fear of missing out. Oh, how many people call it lately. Actually, FOMO came out during the pandemic. If I'm not mistaken, somebody have any other data on the blog? I know this is gonna come up later. Let me know. FOMO came out during the pandemic as fear of missing out. Actually, I learned not too long ago, LOS, laughing out loud. I don't do well with acronym. Social identity, brands, and tribes. Something really funny. Do you know that companies get sponsors, influencers showing their clothing and representing them? But some companies pay people to not to use their brand. And it's a huge case study. I think it was a show like Big Brother or something like that. And there was one of the participants that he dressed all the time in this brand. And the brand was getting a lot of damage because the guy was an asshole. He was the worst of the worst. So the brand contact the producer, and the producers contact this person, take it out of the house, and says, okay, this company is going to pay X amount of money if you're not using the brand anymore. Brand and tribe is called in group, out group. Remember when we talked with Jeff about cult? Well, brands are a cult too. Let me tell you this. This is one of the most fascinating things that I learned about branding. There is only one brand on the wall that the people live the lifestyle, tattoo the brand, use the clothing, but not all of them buy the product. Actually, only, I think, was 60% of the people who portray the lifestyle get the product. Guess what it is? Harley Davidson. I remember when I was moving from the South to Chicago 14, 15 years ago, I drove my own truck. I couldn't move fast enough. the trucking company was taking too long, so I get a special license. I learned how to drive a forklift. Long story short, that's what I did. And I remember thinking, okay, this truck is too big. It was just 18 wheels. So yeah, I can drive an 18 wheels. So it says, okay, I'm going to need to be stopping in special gas station, bars, and places. So I says, okay, what is going to be the universal body language or identification of my brand as a person that is going to be safe in these places? I used to have a Harley. Now I have a moped, a scooter. I call it the Queen because it's British. Um, but I used to have a Harley Davidson, so I still have T-shirts and vests and things from Harley. So I decided to wear my Harley Davidson T-shirts and vest during the trip. As soon as I get to a bar or a gas station, when I was wearing that clothing, people give me a friendly do this with the neck up instead to neck down, instead to be closed. They were open. Why? Because I was part of the tribe. Emotional shortcut, fast decision, serological. Again, how many things you buy in eBay and you says, oh my God, I found this new is less expensive than eBay. Was created by gamification. The thing that you win into somebody else, serologic, most of the purchases we do, they don't need it. When I came to this country, it was 25, 26, 20, 29. Yeah, okay, 25 years ago. One of the things that get my attention is why we have storage spaces to storage things that we never use. Empty boxes. Guess what? Who have a storage thing. What I do is I put the summer clothing in winter and winter clothing in summer. I don't have any more space in my house, even though it's a 3,500 square footage house. I buy too much shit. Reward dopamine. I deserve this. Is gratification all the time. I gratify myself because I have a bad day. I'm going to have a glass of wine. Because I make a bonus, I'm going to spend the money. Do you know that when the people receive a raise or a bonus, they spend the percentage of the winning and things they do not need during the first 45 days? So when people says, oh, I want to raise because I want to save to have a house, most of the people, they don't do it. I deserve this right now. It's the short, the fast gratification period. The fall, we choose whatever remove uncertainty. Confused minds do not make decisions. Again, confused minds do not make decisions. Buying is not complicated, it's emotional, automatical, and predictable. You, as a human being, are irrational and predictable. And here, this, let me introduce you to Vodka. Hi, Pookie. Hi, Vodka. You want to be in the live? You going to be in the live with Mama? Yeah, you kiss me? You miss me? I miss you too. So, next one. Monday, we're going to talk about the Pygmalion effect. Who believe in you is fascinated. Some people know it as a Rosenthal effect, is how you, and we're going to talk about an experiment they did with Mensa people. Mensa people, it's funny because in Italian, Mensa means stupid. And Mensa is a test that proves that you're the most intelligent person. How funny is linguistic. Last night I was having drinks and dinner with Mark Chalinsky and his wife. She's a linguistic, and we were talking about the bilingual houses and the bilingual kids and the meaning and how we choose to use languages. We should do a show with Elba. Take notes. She's listening today. She couldn't participate. Talking about linguistic and the meaning of the words, because when I talk to my cats, I talk in Italian. I dream in English, even though English is my fourth language. And we were talking, and we realized it's because my grandmothers raised me, and one curse all the time in Italian. So usually the cats are not behaving, so I talk to them in Italian. But Pygmalion effect is how we label ourselves and we label others, and how people believe in us. And when we have somebody who support us, coach us, and mentor us, we become really way better in our job. Let's see if we have any questions today. Thank you, Elva. She's putting how to contact us if you want to learn more about us. We should put, you know what, Elva, we should put the link for humanbehaviorallab.com, even though it's on the scroll. Sorry, love, I forgot to tell you. Yeah, Human Behavioral Lab is our research company, data broker. So if you want to know more about that, just give us a click or write to consulting@susanivitz.com. Why this matter to you? Because your decisions are shaped by instinct you don't see. Your customers buy for emotional reason, not rational ones. Understanding behavior equal influence, sales, and better decisions. And you says, why are we talking about how we start talking about monkeys and we stop and ended up talking about decision making and buying? Think about people vote. Think about and why you do you need $150,000 car? I used to have before I moved to the forest when my cats get destroyed, I only drive rovers. For whoever is on two cars, you know that a rover it's a six-figure car. And after 2 years, you don't indemnize the price of you pay for the car. But guess what? To me, it was representing so much. I remember when I was start working and I said to myself, the day I can buy a Cartier watch without credit and cash, I made it. And I ended up buying that when I was really, really young. And to me, that watch still, not this one, this is gold, this is more expensive. That's when I was doing way better. But the first one is the silver one. It was the classic, the tank. I remember that when I bought that, it was a sense of style, sense of accomplishment. Do I needed that watch? 100% no. I want it. Yes, I want it with all my life. ¿Qué pasa, Vodka? ¿Qué pasa? ¿Qué fai? ¿Qué fai, cara? ¿Qué fai? ¿Qué hacemos? So we are so illogical and we can talk this about hours and hours and hours. Is so much fun. If you want to have fun with us, contact us. Connect with me in LinkedIn. I have a lot of connection requests. Thank you, thank you, thank you very much. I enjoyed the time that we spent together. Now, let me tell you, this is Boca because people says, "Oh, show me." This is Boki. She is 6 months old. She's a female. Uh, I got it because somebody need to move, and they ended up. It's not. She's gonna end up in a shelter. The shelter is what you see how she's nibbling. Yeah, she if it's not, she's gonna end up in a shelter and a killing shelter, and we're too not a space. So that's how we ended up with the last three babies. No baby, no mama. So spending habits, crazy. You see how I touch my face all the time? I kiss the cats. So we are illogical. We are irrational. Now, the good news is your clients are irrational and illogical too. So the orthodox economy is telling us that we don't do things because we plan to do it. You think that are you going to be planning to eat healthy? And suddenly you go to the supermarket or you go to have lunch, be extremely hungry. And you says, well, Susan, I'm going to have lunch because I'm hungry. No, before you got to the menu, it's recommended to have a piece of bread and a glass of water, warm water. So your stomach think that you are satisfied and you can be more conscious when you get food. And actually your stomach, it takes 20 minutes to tell your brain that are you full. Another thing that get my attention when I move here is the size of the plates. Everything is super big. In Europe, it's not. In Europe, you have the entrance, you have the main dish, and you have dessert, but the plates are really teeny smaller. And if you don't live in a big city, you don't walk too much in United States. But anyway, the point with this is we are irrational, we are humans, and it's okay. It's the way we are. The point is you need to understand that when you need to make a decision, usually you're not making those decisions with the right part of the brain. Two parts of the brain are participant. We did an exercise. I don't think that we haven't published that yet. When I did a live of sales training that we did, and one of the persons says, sell me a vacuum. Like, oh my God, give it to me. And she was giving me a hard time. We says, I have 6 cats. I need a vacuum. And we went to an exercise of, I think it was 3 or 4 minutes. I'm going to see if we publish it today on Monday, where I walk her through. And at the end of the exercise, I says, okay, stop the exercise. What do you think? The only thing I want to know is what is the price I want to afford, if I can afford it, because she ended up selling herself the vacuum because I was doing the right questions. And remember, in any interaction, buying and selling yourself, even though as if you're on a dating site or if you are on a job interview, is the questions you do. Questions are more important than the answer, and that is statement analysis and linguistic 101. I hope you, all of you, and if you live in the Midwest like myself, be careful. The weather is going to come really shitty again. I will see you Monday when we're going to be talking about the Pygmalion effect. And Tuesday, we have Christina Lennon talking about the misunderstanding about hypnosis and what is the difference between the hypnosis you see in Vegas, the show, and the hypnosis that is utilized for curing and helping people. I hope you have a wonderful weekend. See you next week. My name is Susan Ivis. I'm a human behavioral hacker. Some people have computers, I have humans, and my behavioral neuroscience consulting strategy. Bye, guys. See you next week.